Welcome to a behemoth of a run. This is Silent Hill Downpour 100%. This is everything that you love about Downpour, and then some more. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So while we're watching a bunch of cutscenes, I'll go ahead and go into a bit of what makes this a 100% run. So, Downpour has 14 side quests. The game only counts 13 of them in the stats bar. The 14th one is the digging up the past side quest that gives you access to the surprise ending. There's also notes scattered throughout the game that are known as mysteries. In total, there's 54 of them. So, for 100%, we get the surprise ending, finish the 13 side quests, and collect all 54 mysteries.
Make it quick, huh? Follow me.
This adds a pretty sizable chunk to the game, although not nearly as much as you would expect, because compared to the surprise ending run, it's only about an extra hour. That said, it does show off a lot more of the game if you really want to do that. You actually get to see some neat stuff, some definitely not so neat stuff. But why spoil anything when I can just show it? To start us off, as is tradition in any Downpour game, we do have a good 11-12 minutes of cutscenes to start the game off, with a small oasis of gameplay right at the start here, where we get to engage in our first fight.
Scared the hell out of me.
Napier here,
Where's Sewell?
he's not a great guy. We don't really find that out until later, but we're gonna take action now. So,
Guards?
we arranged a deal with Officer Sewell.
You don't recognize me, do you?
He cordons off the area, brings Napier down for us. We fog up the cameras with the showers,
We used to be neighbors.
take care of this guy, and Sewell cleans up afterwards so that we don't get caught. This is kind of the big shock value intro that the game tries to sell you on the playing as a criminal angle with. Which is actually really funny considering you're not actually playing as a hardened criminal, you're just playing as a guy looking for revenge for his son and got himself imprisoned on purpose to do so. Anyway, first weapon is always 6 hits. The other two, 4 to 6, so let's see what kind of luck we get. Which way are you gonna go? Good RNG there. 5 hits there. Not great. And how many punches? 5. So overall, perfectly average. So we're at 4 minutes now. That means that the next 7.5 minutes are going to be more cutscene.
Why?
You know exactly why.
You'd almost think this was a JRPG, how you can't play for the first hour of the game.
Did I wake you, Pendleton?
But here we are, waking up in good old Ryle State Prison, right in our cot.
Come on, rise and shine, Cupcake. You know the drill.
Now, pay attention to what they say here.
Guess today's a big day, huh? Tell you the truth, I'm sort of sorry to see you go. Prisoner secure. Open 302B. Transfer.
302B. Alright, what's that number on Murphy's jumpsuit? That ain't 302B. You got the RS for Ryle State. But the number's way off. Also, fun little Easter egg. So, it's no surprise that, or no secret that, Silent Hill as a franchise has taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of horror authors, like Stephen King and Dean Koontz and all of those guys. Well, if you look at Sewell's badge there, Ryle State is in Maine, much like most of King's work. So, the fun little side effect of that is I believe this is the first time in a game that you're actually given a location as to where Silent Hill is. Maybe not necessarily in Maine because we are being transferred to another prison by bus, but at the very least in the Northeast. Also, shoutouts to the soundtrack that is actually really good for not being Akira Yamaoka. Daniel Lick, rest his soul, did really good work on the soundtrack. Unfortunately, it just doesn't really stand out very often. You get it really nice and solid in these opening cutscenes, but throughout the game, you really don't hear it. And when you do hear it, it's not really mixed well or applied to proper, like, scenes where it fits. The more I play this game, though, the more I do enjoy the music.
Well, guess this is it. No fond farewell? You gonna miss us?
Not even a little.
No,
Give it a couple
Sewell
of days
here,
of Wayside Max.
as you can
I bet
probably
you'll start
tell
to
us,
miss this place
not
after
a good
all.
person. He's a very corrupt
we
cop.
sure
He
are gonna
ends up
miss you.
being kind of the main antagonist of the game.
Move 'em out!
Even though you don't actually run into him at all in Silent Hill, you only see him in the flashbacks. But anything bad that's happened leading to this game's events, he was at the center of it. And here we've got another kind of main rival for us, Officer Cunningham. She will be with us in Silent Hill, and we will be running into her quite often, in fact. That says she has a very uncanny ability of popping into existence from nowhere and surviving impossible falls and
All
just
yours
other
now, sugar.
very seemingly supernatural
Let's get this done.
mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. All right.
That said,
You heard
between
the
her
lady.
and Murphy, there are a lot of very well recognized
What we
and
got
beloved
here?
lines. This one probably being the most.
Pendleton. Get on the bus.
Get on the bus. Largely thanks to an internal enigma that is
Buckle up, get cozy.
kind of the legendary
Got a long ride ahead
meme
of us.
line of the game. At this point, it's gotten to be so big on its own that it doesn't matter what community you're in. If somebody's playing Downpour, everybody is going to be excited for that part right there. Anyway, off we go. Got about 2 more minutes of cutscene left. And it's going to be just us following this bus in a sky view. Going to be taking the path of that old jump scare video. You know, the one with the haunted car advertisement where you're looking down at the valley and then it turns to the side and there's a zombie. Yep, right here. Tell me that curve doesn't look familiar. I swear that is the exact same scenery, just with some rain. Shoutouts to Mr. Koontz, who's driving the bus. Another horror author Easter egg. So these flashbacks show scenes from Murphy's house and his son and all of that.
You have a good nap, Weddle?
There's a side quest
Tell me
later where
something
we're
about
actually going to visit that
what you heard
scene
about
where
you.
his house is.
Did you really do
It's
it?
not
Shut the
supposed to
hell
be his house, but it's the exact same scene.
I said lock it up, damn it!
There's a lot of reused assets in this game, especially the shoreline that we're about to be at. Kind of funny how they pulled the Silent Hill 1 card there and made everything start with a wreck. Alright, so not here, but when we go down that path that the camera just looked at, there's a branching path to the left that you can go down and reach a shoreline. And that shoreline is one that's going to be repeated at
Anyone
least
hear me?
twice in the game. But we don't have time to go there, we gotta go fast, so we're coming over here. This is gonna be one of the more annoying mechanics that we see throughout the game. Balance beams. And the game won't let you just maintain your balance on your own. It kind of throws your weight around and makes you try to react to it. Sometimes that can just kind of flat out kill you because it'll push your weight all the way to one side, you'll try to counteract it, and then it'll push your weight to the other side. But at that point, you're pushing the wrong direction and you just fall off and die. Anyway, we
That's
got about a
far
minute
enough.
of gameplay, so it's time for another cutscene.
Get your ass down on the ground now. Hands where I can see them. Do it.
Take it easy. I'm not going anywhere.
I said on the ground now.
You know, I always give Anne
I
a
was
lot
just
of
looking for
crap
help.
And you just happen to lose your
for this
cuffs
part
in
right
the
here,
process?
but
Save
you know,
the
she did
bullshit.
tell him to get on the ground, and he is very clearly not listening.
This is stupid. I'll meet you back down at the bus, okay?
That said, quit
gonna
looking
get
at him.
yourself killed.
Watch
Shut up.
your feet.
Keep your goddamn hands where I can see them. Ah! Shit!
Well, anyway, even though she was
Let me help.
just pointing a gun at her face, we want to do the good decision because it is faster.
Hang on.
I'm slipping. Oh god.
Don't let go.
Not trying to save her actually ends up losing you about 30 seconds.
Shit! Damn it.
But she's gone. You would think we would never see her again, but we see her many times. Yeah, don't worry about her, she's fine. And now, we got our gauntlet of cutscenes done, we can actually start playing the game for real. So we're gonna get started by coming over here, busting this lock. And then the game's gonna try to give us another cutscene, but we're gonna circumvent it by just walking during the cutscene straight to the ladder and cutting it off with a different animation. That's a fun part of this run, is some cutscenes let you move during them. Of course, then you also have moments like this where the game forces you to walk because it's trying to load the next area and it doesn't want you to get there too quickly. Anyway, we gotta come up here, grab some tokens.
These game tokens look ancient.
This will be very important. And now, time for another cutscene featuring one of the more recognizable NPCs from this game. So, we're fixing to meet Howard. This guy, I don't know what the deal with him is,
Look
but
at that.
Tom Hewlett seems to have wanted him to be a
No,
recurring
52.
character.
Flathead
That
BA.
never really became the
No doubt
case,
about it.
obviously, considering the franchise kind of died after Book of Memories. But he is in both this and Book of Memories.
Wicked old beast, ain't she?
Kind of plays the mystic guide stereotype.
I said she's a wicked old beast. Me, I'm partial to something with a little less rust. But to each his own.
Look, I don't want any trouble.
And of
Just
course,
point
the
way
only
out of
person who
town,
would be
and I'll keep
out in
right
the
on
town while everything is
Now, who
destroyed
said
and cursed
anything
and all of
about
that.
trouble? Just
It's gonna be the
trying to
mailman.
Be helpful, son. Name's Howard, by the way.
Murphy.
Heading to prison, are you, Murphy?
Just looking for a way out of town is all.
That's so. Afraid all the roads are out, every last one of them. Strangest thing.
What the
Something wrong, son?
Did you see it? Up there in the window.
Hmm?
Never mind.
I suppose if you're really desperate, you could try the old Skytram. Course, it hasn't really been kept up since the accident.
I'll take my chances.
That's the spirit. Well, this mail ain't gonna deliver itself. Good luck, Murphy. Hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
Hey, what's the name of this place?
Alright, now we get to play the game again. And we're actually coming up on the first bit of 100% collection. So we need to break into this diner, as usual. But instead of just darting through it like we usually do, we're gonna make a couple stops. So first off, here's our first mystery.
Anyone here?
A nice little brochure for the Devil's Pit. But we also need to grab some change from this register. This will be important
Bonuses.
a bit later.
What's that? Gas? Oh shit! Fire. Anyone hear me? Fire!
And now we're coming up to our first Otherworld transition. This game kind of took the premise of that red light that chases you down with the lights turning off in Silent Hill 3 and turns it into the main idea of the Otherworld that happens frequently. It's not great, but it's there. That said, that sequence in Silent Hill 3 is actually really neat and kind of terrifying. And, fun fact, it was actually inspired by a horror movie, Session 9, which is a low-budget but really creepy horror flick. Definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't. And it's about a cleanup crew basically tearing out a bunch of tiles, getting rid of all the asbestos in an old sanitarium.
Murphy?
Or asylum, one of the two. I think it was an asylum. Man, this is the black hole sequence. This is all it is. You've got the black hole chasing you. If it catches up to you, you slow down. That said, there's parts where you can't avoid it catching up to you. And then you've got these little fleshy things in cages that you can knock over to slow it down. But, of course, the game has rubber banding, so slowing it down doesn't actually help. It just wastes time watching the animation of you pushing the trailer. There will be one time where we pull one of those things over, but it's a very niche case where we're just trying to make the black hole slow us down at a particular spot instead of another, because running through the slowdown is still faster than opening a door through the slowdown. Well, now we've escaped the black hole for a moment, so we can now enjoy some lovely music and peace and quiet in this weird, non-Euclidean space. This is technically a puzzle, but it's so straightforward and linear that I would hesitate to call it a puzzle. Find the thing you can interact with and interact with it. That's pretty much all it boils down to. The only real hard part in this section is not getting caught on any collision. Because Murphy is about twice as wide as he actually looks, and it's very easy to get stuck on a pole or a corner. Got stuck on that. See, there you go. Murphy gets stuck on everything. Alright, let's see if I can get this set up. There is a way that you can bypass the last slowdown in this segment, but it's really difficult to pull off. Well, we bypassed that one. Let's see. Nope, I got caught on the corner. That's a shame. Oh well. Oh. Missed the shadow. That is really stupid and unfortunate. So the black hole despawns when you get to the second shadow, but apparently I turned around a little bit too soon because I got stuck on something and didn't do it. But we're through. We're alive. That's all that matters. Now, this being a 100% run, health is more important than it is in the other categories. Mostly because we do not only have to fight a lot more, but enemies are also a lot less predictable because of some of the things that we're required to do. So, for the most part, if I'm passing a health item, I'm gonna grab it.
Fucking like that, bitch. Come on, bitch. Fucking get back up. You wanna fucking try that again?
Or at least that's
bitch,
what I
see what
should
you
do, but I
fucking got.
probably won't.
Pinche cabrona. Fucking
Yay,
get up,
some muscle memory.
Ne chinga conmigo, puta. Hey!
Anyway, here's our first introduction to a non-black hole enemy. A wonderful showcase of the creative design direction of the game. What's enemy number one? A bloody woman with nails in her hand. Anyway, this is supposed to be a combat tutorial, but we're just gonna run away.
Looks like a way out. Panel's busted.
Just stick the cable in there, and we're good as gone.
Bingo. Finally.
Alright, we don't need the wrench anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. We could technically go to the right there and grab a spare change of clothes, but we're gonna wait to do that because if you do that first, you actually end up spawning enemies in this area, and we don't want that. We want to take care of all of our business first. So instead, we're gonna come over here and play a little game. I'm not sure what kind of game you would call this. It's, I wouldn't call it ping pong. Also, how in the world would you even control this? This is an impossible contraption. But whatever, we get a free ticket from it, so best not to question it too much. Oh, also, if you have this game on a harder puzzle difficulty, that just adds a bunch of extra holes here. And that tends to be the case for a lot of the puzzles in this game. It doesn't actually make the puzzles difficult, it just changes things. Like in a puzzle where you have to grab a quarter to unscrew some screws, doesn't add any more screws or do anything like that. It just changes the location of the quarter.
A long time since I had real clothes.
Anyway, here comes a wave of enemies. And one of the benefits of running this on the Series X is these enemies are actually more consistent. So, on the older consoles, this screamer ahead of us would be the one that would try to scream. But on the Series X, the one that spawns behind us is the one that screams. So as long as you stick to the right, you're good. And now we just gotta turn on the power for the ticket machine, pop our ticket in, and we'll be on our way.
This must be the ticket machine.
This must be the ticket machine.
Wherever this thing goes, can't be worse.
Another
than back there.
popular line. Now, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but one of the hardest parts of this game is stepping off this tram. Just because of how big Murphy's hitbox is, it is incredibly easy to get stuck on the side of the door. And you can, no joke, lose 30 seconds to a minute just trying to get yourself unstuck. I have legitimately lost runs to this tram. So, let's see how this goes. Can I thread the needle? Yes, I can. Good. Now we're going to be taking advantage of another nifty little quirk in this game, which is teleportation. So I'm going to grab an axe to cut down some boards, but I'm going to start swinging from a pretty good distance away.
Didn't take much to knock this down.
I was just a tad too far on this, but I've got another opportunity to show it right here. So I'm going to go right here, and pushes me forward so I'm in range. That'll save us a little bit of time every now and then whenever we do need to break some boards down, which is something that happens surprisingly often. Heck, before we even get to Silent Hill, we're going to do that probably 4 or 5 more times. And here we meet good old J.P. Sater. Poor guy got himself drunk on the job while he was driving a train with a bunch of kids on it. Wrecked the train, killed a bunch of kids. Now he doesn't have a job.
Impressive, ain't it? You might not guess by looking at it, but this place used to be filled with all kinds of visitors. Moms and dads and little kids and... Yeah, it was a really nice place.
I'm sorry. You are?
Name's JP, and that, sir, is the Devil's Pit. 490 meters straight down to the blackest soul of the earth. The deepest limestone sinkhole north
that's
of...
fascinating, but... Sorry. Something tried to kill me back there. You haven't seen anyone, strange, wandering around here, have you?
First-time visitor, huh?
Listen, if there's a quick way out of here,
Actually, I need to
really
check
appreciate
something
it.
real quick.
If you
All
just
right.
tell me.
Way out.
We're good.
What good would that do?
I didn't remember grabbing the paper down in the
Sorry.
basement of the diner, but
We,
it appears that I
don't
did.
get too many visitors these days.
Right.
Very important.
Well, be seeing.
If you head through the
You'll
cavern,
probably
there's a
see me
train.
look in there a couple
You
more
take you to
times throughout the
Hillside.
run just to make sure that I'm still on
Boy, I
track.
tell you,
Loses a
all the
little bit of
kids,
time every
they,
time I do it,
just
but
love that little train.
loses a lot less time than getting to
How
the
about you
end of
show
the
me?
run and not having everything you need.
Sorry. Someplace I gotta be.
Thanks for the tip.
But anyway, that was the statistics menu, which not only shows you your
Devil's Pit.
stats as far as completion go, but
like
it
a
also
fun
actually
place to
tells you
bring
your in-game
family.
time too. That said, this game is timed on RTA for the simple fact of the in-game timer kind of sucks. It's not very consistent. If you die, then you lose that IGT, obviously. And it just doesn't count after like one of the last boss fights. And there's a good 5 minutes of stuff after that. Oh no, did I throw that out of the world? I hope that X is still there. It's not the end of the world if it's not, but it does mean that I'll have to use a two-handed axe instead, and that wastes about a second or two every time I have to break down some boards. So let's see if we see the axe. If we don't, we'll just kind of make do. Is it? Oh, it's way back there. Can I reach it? No. Alright, pickaxe it is. That's a shame. Well, now we're in the Devil's Pit. We've still got a good 15 minutes to go before we actually make it into Silent Hill proper. In the meantime, we got a couple puzzles to do. Here we gotta redirect the water to power a generator for the elevator to take us to the next area. On harder difficulties, moving this water would actually cause a wooden barrier to drop and prevent us from leaving. And there would be a box that we'd have to push under it to keep it propped open when that happens. That's the same on normal and hard. But it's still very straightforward. There's the wooden board that would fall. Just push a block under it. No big deal. So now we got the elevator going. Gonna stay perfectly still. This is camera manipulation for the next area. If you move, then the camera after this cutscene also moves. There's only one way to know where it's gonna be. When it comes to the camera, always better to know where to go as opposed to going for the fastest. Because even the fastest direction will still get you confused and lose time. Alright, got an enemy to take care of right here.
Get away from me!
Alright, 2 hits, but 4 swings. Not great, but we'll take it. Sirens in this game, well, enemies in general in this game, take a semi-randomized number of hits to bring down. The best you can get on a siren is 2 hits.
That's the guy I met outside.
These guys, on the other hand, are tanks. Not worth fighting, ever. Not even casually. They take a lot of damage, deal a lot of damage, and block most of your attacks. If you ever have to fight a Weeping Bat, you better have a gun, because otherwise it's just not going to go well. Thankfully, we really don't have to mess with them too much. Alright, moving back up, we're going to be running back into JP Sater. And this is going to be our second moral decision of the game. Bit of a content warning for suicide. If that's one of your sore spots, don't watch for the next about 4 minutes.
Sater! Oh, it's just you.
What are you doing, JP?
This is kind of
You know.
an entertaining
enjoying the
conversation.
You know they say
If you
were to
heard
put
in the
Empire
last
State Building in
dialogue,
here,
JP
wouldn't
Sater
even
said
reach
the Devil's
halfway to the
Pit
top of this
goes
place.
490
dangerous
meters
place to be
down
sightseeing.
to the bottom.
You know, none
It's
of those
about
things they said about
1,500
me are
feet.
true. The papers and stuff.
Turns out the Empire State
People
Building is
around
also
town,
about 1,500
my
feet,
lawyers,
give or take.
They said it was just
So,
circumstantial evidence and whatnot.
Empire State Building won't
That's
even
what I
reach
kept
halfway
telling
up.
them.
Yeah,
Nah.
I read all about
It'll
it.
fit inside the
Those
Devil's
newspaper
Pit,
men are goddamn
if you don't
fucking
count the
liars.
antenna.
Relax, man. We're just talking here.
But it's
What
it's
happened?
gonna fill
That
it all
was
the
an
way. It's not
accident.
gonna be halfway
I
up.
didn't mean to hurt nobody. I didn't murder nobody. Murder's a mortal sin. You go to hell for murder. Ain't that right, Murphy? Surely your mama taught you about what's right and what's wrong.
Those kids had parents that might disagree with you. The paper mentioned negligence.
It was an accident.
You were completely hammered. There were witnesses.
And how about you, Murphy? Someone know all your dirty little secrets?
I never hurt anybody that didn't deserve it. And I sure as hell never hurt any kids. I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
This is also a part where I tend to get
You call this
distracted
living?
and forget to
Can you imagine what that's like, Murphy?
hit the prompt
Living all
for
your life inside
the decision.
someone else's lie? Can you?
Mostly because the dialogue here
Listen to
doesn't
us talk.
really sound like it's
As if
going
anybody out there
into
gives a damn.
a decision.
When we're the ones who decide if we can live with what we've done.
Like, it sounds like that's not even the end of a statement, but here we go.
Wait. What do you mean? Just wait a second.
Every now and then
Be seeing
I
you around, Murphy.
lose a little bit of time just
No.
because I don't pay attention there. But that part's done now. We can move
Can't
on.
believe he jumped.
As I kind of stated at the start of the game with Napier, this game does a lot of shock value stuff just for the sake of shock, without really making it meaningful to the character's struggles. It's an unfortunate part of the game, and one that personally is more troubling to me than the bad enemy design and all of that.
Welcome to the Cave of Tears, the grandest collection of natural limestone formations.
Moving on, this is actually going to be a spot where I might get a little messed up, as I will be breaking this down more slowly. Oh, you went to the side. That's actually probably the best thing you could do in this situation. Yep.
Nothing.
You tried. I was really worried he was going to jump up to the ceiling and then drop down on me from above, mid-swing. That happens a lot when you have the pickaxe. Sometimes it even happens with the one-handed axe, but not as often.
Fuck!
Thank you for not blocking me, sir. Alright, almost to the end of the Devil's Pit. We've got one document to collect down at the bottom of this lift, and a siren to take care of, a puzzle to solve, and a roller coaster to
all
ride.
come together. You'll look back and laugh at what's past, and you'll ask yourself, how the hell did I get through all that?
Here we go. Grab this note right here. Take care of the siren. You're still alive, but we're gonna just run away.
This must be the train Sater told me about.
Whenever that siren takes more than 3 hits, I'm out of there. Typically, the 3 hits is enough to stagger her so you can just run away and not get screamed at. But I'm not gonna sit there and hit her 8 times waiting for her to fall down. Anyway, this is kind of an auto-scroller pseudo cutscene type thing. Loading stalagmites. So, yeah. At this point, it's really just enjoying the ride, looking at the scenery. Some of it looks nice, some of it not so much.
Silent Hill was once the center of trade and commerce, thanks to its rich scenes of coal and iron ore.
That said, flashing light warning up ahead. I'll mention when that's done. Here we go.
Extracted ore from the Devil's Pit in 1860. This subterranean railroad was built in order to haul men and equipment as far as 1,200 meters below the surface, making it the deepest coal mine of its day. Long before the discovery of the pit's rich coal seams,
We've also got an otherworld transition happening here, so now everything's a little more red. Got some more metal going on. You can see a little bit of a prison through the walls there. Flashing lights, warning is over now. And let's see, that's gonna fall down. Starting to get weeping bats kind of hovering around, just waiting to drop down on us.
Leading to a wild speculation of witchcraft and the occult. Soon after, a series of unfortunate accidents and reports of mysterious creatures.
And this guy is going to be the bane of our existence. So this is a quick time event where if you go too quickly, you fail. So we're going to take it at a nice, moderate pace. And there we go. Yeah, if you fail that quick time event, you start at the very start of the train ride, so it's a pretty significant time lapse. And there's Devil's Pit. So now it's been a little over 46 minutes in the run. We have to sit through one more cutscene that's going to take about 4 minutes. And then we'll finally be entering the town of Silent Hill. But first we have an old acquaintance to run into.
Pendleton.
Yep. Our good friend Officer Cunningham survived her fall and magically teleported
I saw you.
Hands
right
against the
behind
wall.
us.
I said, up against the wall.
You don't have to do this. We should help each other. This place, I don't know what it is or how we got here.
Enough.
One thing
Just shut up. What the? Where did you get this? Where in the hell did you get this?
I just found it in these clothes. I didn't...
Is this some kind of sick joke to you?
No, I swear. I don't know what's going on any more than you do.
On your knees.
What?
On your fucking knees. You heartless bastard. You don't deserve to live. You're not fit to walk this earth while good, decent men.
I don't know who you think I am or what you think I've done.
Shut the hell up! You think this is funny, don't you? Well, let's see how funny it is with a fucking bullet in your head. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Go. What the hell are you waiting for?
Alright, so
Leave me
we're
alone, goddammit!
kinda at the end of our Anne Cunningham quota for this portion of the game, so we're gonna let her be for a while. Next time we'll see her will be in,
I'm sorry.
about 30 minutes or so. In the meantime, off we go. Finally getting to Silent Hill. We're gonna walk through this cutscene real quick. Perfect. And while we're here, we do need to make a very important stop. We need a map. And not just any map, we need this map. Because there's a side quest later on where we need to give a homeless man some items so that he can open up the tunnels below Silent Hill for us to utilize. That said, he doesn't spawn if you don't have a map. That is something that I had to learn the hard way. Now we are going to grab the nail gun here, but not the double-headed axe. Instead, we're grabbing the shovel, because, like with Surprise Ending, we're still gonna have to do the digging up the past section. So, let's get digging.
Where is everybody?
The ground is pretty soft here.
Unfortunately, the stuff that you're supposed to get from these, you don't actually
What
see
the
on
hell?
subsequent playthroughs, only the first time that you do the digging. The reason that's so unfortunate is because you actually get mementos from those that are callbacks to the older Silent Hill games. There's like a UFO and a laser pistol, stuff like that. It's actually really neat. I think I just saw an extra siren inside the gate there? That's weird. Anyway, we're gonna get caught by this police car on purpose. Come in here, grab this note.
How the hell did this get here?
Losing that shovel's not a terrible deal. There's another one up ahead that we can grab. But we've got another side quest to do. So we had to trigger that police car so that we got the side quest to recall them all. So D375, C466, B557, A648. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and reload. This is something that we haven't typically done in this route, but I'm hoping that this gets rid of the enemies that spawn with the car, because they end up losing well more than the time that you lose from this loading screen. So, it's kind of experimentation on the fly. Let's see if it works out. Gotta pick up this note here, and then grab a painting here. But anytime you make progress on a side quest, the game autosaves on the spot. So, figured that might be a benefit right here. Let's see how it pans out.
Poor little guy.
Here's our first bluebird cage. There's 5 of them total. Every time we get a little bit more of this cutscene. Any enemies? No. That worked really well.
Are there any other birds around?
And this guy's way back there. That works out really well. I will keep that in mind for future runs. I'm gonna grab this shovel, because we are going to need a shovel here in a little bit. Still gotta deal with you. As long as you get out of the way, that's good enough. We have to go down into the subway here, grab another painting. That reload worked wonders. Alright, there's a siren that's going to be chasing us. We're probably going to get screamed at. Oh, I called it. We're probably going to get screamed at again, too, when we dig up the grave. Anyway, let's get this done. Yep, there you are. Oh, you're not screaming. You're fine, though. Alright, we're good. We're safe. That will work. I do gotta grab one more mystery off to the right here.
Oh, God. Why are you doing
We
this
don't
to me?
need the hook anymore. And that's this area done. Just gotta make it through the window and not accidentally climb back out. Because that's a thing that can happen in this game. Anytime you go over a transition, the controls tend to lock, so you have to kind of buffer your inputs to make sure you go in the right direction. That happens with ladders as well, and cutscenes, and many other things. Downpour just really likes making you not go in the direction you want to go. But there's another side quest in here that we gotta take care of before we leave. So let's head upstairs and get that started. Got a note to grab off the door here.
A thief, huh?
Cut through the bathroom. And what's that? A nail gun. Don't mind if I grab some extra ammo, that'll come very in handy for the next side quest. So now we've got all this stuff, we're going to go through a few apartments and put all of it back. So there's 2 of the 4. The rest are downstairs. One on the 2nd floor, one on the 1st. Come in here. Place the piggy bank. And one last stop down in the bottom. Grab this painting first because Downpour's inventory never stays on the last item, so picking that up actually makes it where we're right on the war medal here. And you can just place it without moving the cursor at all. So yeah, it's actually important to grab the painting before you place the war medal and not after. But we're done with that. We're on our way, and we are back to Howard. I like how it acts all spooky even though all the letters are on the floor there. Like, who else is gonna do that?
Jesus. You scared the hell out of me.
Definitely not what I intended. Still in town, I see.
Just haven't found a way out. Yet.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Yeah? Then what?
Well, let's just say I could finally put this damn bag down for starters.
Man, cut the bullshit. What is this place?
Can't say I understand the question. This is a busy town. Do you think these letters deliver themselves?
Whatever. Can you at least tell me where the radio
So
station
once
is?
Howard is done and goes on his way, we're gonna go down the alleyway he walks down and try to keep on the left-hand side as much as possible.
Oh, sure.
There's a siren that can spawn in the area we're heading to, and the first thing she does is scream at you. But if you stick to the left and you have a clear view of that area, it seems to prevent her from spawning a good portion of the time. Sometimes she still ends up there anyway.
She was fit to be tied.
But we'll see how it works out.
Tell you the truth, I got no idea.
Also, that is
Son, in my
terrible
experience,
saying.
when
Fit to be
someone's
tied.
angry, it ain't
So I
a
looked that up
mistake.
because I hadn't heard that phrase before.
It's personal.
Yeah, turns out that's an old reference to the asylums, where if somebody was angry enough or crazy enough, they would tie them down. Mechanical restraints. And apparently that was such a common use that... Oop. There we go. That'll take care of you. So she did spawn, but she didn't yell because she dodged my attack, so that kind of worked out. Hopefully she just stays there, because I do have some stuff that I've got to do. First off, we're going to come down here and use the change that we got in the diner to grab a candy bar. And that's going to be used for the homeless quest, but we're not going to give it to the homeless guy until way later. But menuing wise, it's just much easier to go ahead and use the change here now. Now we're going to work our way back. You're going to still be down, right? Good. And we need to collect something from here. So we grab that. Head over this way. Have to start a side quest by looking at this missing poster. Work our way over here. And grab a note. Free another bluebird.
Poor little guy.
Doesn't seem like there's any enemies around, so it is safe to go ahead and grab the next mystery. Assuming one doesn't spawn while this cutscene is playing. We good? Yeah, we're good. So I'll go ahead and grab this now, and then we'll head into the bank for our next side quest. So the other categories, we use the nail gun for the boogeyman fight. This run, we use the nail gun specifically for this side quest. It's almost a perfect amount of ammo to deal with the enemies. A little less than you actually need, but
stupid.
We can make do. So we're gonna start off with Siren. Easy enough. Now this next one is gonna be 2 sirens. Yeah, that happens. And we're trapped inside. Good. The other guy's not gonna spawn. This side quest can be finicky. There's actually been times where I finished the side quest and it didn't register as complete. So that's a shame. But we'll continue on.
An alarm, of course. How could I be so stupid?
There we go. Yeah, so we wasted a bit of ammo there. Let's see, how much do we have? Oh, we still have more than a full clip. This next one's going to be 2 prisoners. And I actually don't use the nail gun ammo for these guys. Oh, nope. It's a siren and a prisoner. So we'll go ahead and finish them up the manual way. Now it should be the 2 prisoners. There we go. Now if I'm lucky, I can get them lined up. There we go. One last wave. 15 ammo. Should be plenty. It'll be a prisoner with a shank, and a siren. There we go. That's that side quest done. Now, we did get beat up a bit, so I am going to come down here and grab a few health kits. Also going to go ahead and grab the pistol, because we do need a firearm for later. There's more ammo in here than what I actually need. So, I won't grab all of it. Just 1 box should be plenty. Anyway, now that that train wreck's done, we get to move on. Have a few more items to pick up in this area, then dig up another hole and move on to the Centennial building. So here's another one of these pieces. Those won't come into play until we unlock the Shadowplay quest way down the line. But there is another note at the end of this stretch here. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And that actually gives us the code to this part right here, which is 827. Come on, take my inputs. And then there's a painting here to grab. And now we can move on. Very convenient shovel right there. I can't imagine if I had to backtrack all the way for that one shovel. Alright, now we can officially move on. Sometimes there's a siren or prisoner that'll spawn here to give you a little extra rough time. Not today. Thank goodness, because we do not need that given our current pace.
These are my parole papers. Who is doing this?
Anyway, time for another flashback.
What do you want from me?
Making the deal.
Hey,
This is the dialogue that gets us our deal that
take a look.
with Napier in the shower.
Hey, Murphy, remember, this is a limited
It's
time
also
offer, my
where we
friend.
learn
I'll
what
let you know.
exactly Murphy did to get himself put into prison with Napier.
What's up, Officer Coleridge?
What was that about?
Nothing.
Hey, don't bullshit a bullshitter. Sewell's bad news, Murph. He doesn't do anyone favors. What are you in for with him?
It's nothing. It's... Don't worry about it.
For your sake? I hope so. I don't want to get your hopes up, kid, but the parole board's looking pretty closely at your case. Don't screw this up now. Not after all I've done to get you out of here.
Don't worry, Officer Coleridge. I got it all under control. Just some unfinished business to take care of.
What the hell are you doing in here anyway, Murphy? You're not like these guys.
Told you, sir. Car theft, resisting and evading, and...
Yeah, you stole a police cruiser and ran him on a 10-hour chase down the eastern seaboard. What makes a guy with no priors and a clean psych do something that stupid?
Can I just say,
I think you at least owe me the truth.
a 10-hour chase,
Maybe
all
I
the police that
need to
would be
escape
on
the
you
world
for
a
that,
while.
you made it 10 hours.
Yeah, well, you just steer clear of Sewell and do your homework.
I would
right?
have passed out behind the wheel by that point. That is a long
You got
time.
it, Chief.
Murphy's got some stamina. But back to the present. Have some more stuff to collect. So there's actually a van right there, but that's a trap. if you open the back door of that, there's nothing inside for you. Well, nothing important for 100% anyway. But it does trigger some enemy spawns.
7825, code 6, 105 North Avenue 52.
Now we'll just grab a crowbar here. And warp strike the lock.
Wonder if I can pump the water out somehow.
And now for a little while, we're back to doing the old any percent path.
Let's see if this works.
We've got a key card. Now we go to the key card scanner and then press a button to open up the next area. Shoutouts to Starwin for telling me that you can quick select in that menu using the bumper buttons. The game doesn't tell you anything about that, neither does the manual. That saves a lot of time. Especially in this run where our inventory is going to be filled up for the majority of the run.
Welcome to the Silent Hill Archive and Library.
Alright, unlike any of the other categories, we do actually need the UV flashlight. So we're gonna grab that. And the funny thing too is the only reason we need the UV flashlight is to grab one note. We don't actually need to use it to solve any puzzles. Just one note that you need to get for 100% completion you can't interact with unless you shine a UV light on. Gonna take a small detour in here. It's gonna be a weeping bat that hits us as we read this. Or he's gonna miss. That works too. I'm actually kind of better with that. I'll push this and head on up. There's gonna be a safe combination up there that's always the same. Gonna go 1 to the left, 5 to the left, 1 to the right. And get stuck on the bookshelf because why not? Alright, now grab another key card from this guy. And now we get to listen to Sewell talk for a good couple minutes.
So what's it gonna be, Murphy?
There's the book that we need to grab with the UV flashlight.
All your hard work.
Right now we're just gonna stand here because if you stand right next to it when the scene transitions back, sometimes the game just won't let you grab the
win-win
book.
situation, right? Guys like Napier, they've got no business breathing the same air as you and me, right? Now, the courts and the bleeding hearts out there insist we sequester guys like him away from the general population for their safety. Can you believe that shit? For their safety. Let me ask you this. What about Charlie's safety, huh? So this is how it's gonna work. I'll give you access to Napier. Make sure you get some quality time with that worthless sack of shit. I'll see to it no one finds him till I've had a chance to scrub the place down. Keep you in the clear. But in exchange, you're gonna owe me a favor. Think you can do that for me, sport? Of course you can. I know you're a man of your word, Murphy. You be a straight shooter with me. I'll be a straight shooter with you.
Come on, so we'll finish up.
Remember, Cupcake, you owe me one.
There we go. Got the note. Now we can run and continue on our way. An interesting thing is there's actually more books in here that you can interact with after shining the UV light on them, but they aren't notes that go into your journal, so they don't count as mysteries. Thus, they're not required. But now there's more stuff that we gotta do down here, so we do actually have to come through this area. Unlike in the other categories, where we can just type in a keypad number and go on our way. But the puzzle that we get the keypad number from is actually considered a mystery. So we're gonna come in here, grab yet another key card, use that to open this door, solve this puzzle as quickly as we can.
Wait, there's something written here.
And there we go. Now we work our way back up, put in our newly found keypad number, and take an elevator ride. Shoutouts to our first appearance of the doll, one of the other enemy designs in the game. Kind of just sits there and attacks you with shadow versions of itself. And one doll can send out like 4 to 6 different shadows at a time. Now, this guy I don't want to deal with, so I'm just going to pull out my gun. You were definitely going to scream, so I'm glad I did that.
I think I could climb this to the upper
I'm gonna
level.
grab a note here, and then climb up.
Wonder if this will hold me.
Alright, now in the other categories, once we cross these balance beams, we usually try to get hit by the shadow so that we get a bit of a speed boost. We can still do that in this category, but it's not as beneficial because we actually have to take a detour partway in to grab another note. So I'm not gonna bother with that, I'm just gonna try and avoid getting hit altogether. Because getting hit does run the risk of then getting chain locked into more hits. And I got hit anyway. And I got hit twice. Even better. Oh, whatever. We're gonna come down this ladder. Also, something I haven't mentioned that can be quite annoying. The ladders, you don't interact with them by pressing A. You interact them by rubbing up against them, and sometimes the game doesn't recognize that you're against the ladder and will just have you stuck there against the side until it finally decides to let you climb. Alright, well that actually kind of worked out.
find a security card.
Alright, pretty sure I hit the right floor there. So, I mean, just a bit of time.
That, my brothers and sisters, was another rock and roll classic coming to you courtesy of DJ Ricks on this fine
Alright,
afternoon.
remember what I said.
Weatherman
Watch
there's
the
a storm
bottom
coming our
of
way to
Bobby
spoil the
Ricks'
fun.
eyes.
So batten down the hatches and snuggle up under the blanket with the
They
one you
don't
love.
fit
'Cause it's
in
gonna
his
be
head.
a rough ride. And speaking of rough rides, we got another dedication going out to my man with the plan, Murphy Pendleton. Somebody out there has got an eye on you, MP, so watch your back and keep it on track.
Also, all the music that he plays is classic Silent Hill music. You've got the Silent Hill 1 theme going right here. There was a song from
Hey,
Silent
man,
Hill
come
2
on
before
in.
that.
Got a disc spinning right now, so you ain't interrupting.
He's fixing to change it to another very familiar old
Man, you
Silent
look
Hill
like
song.
you just saw a ghost or something. You alright?
Nice touch.
Not really, no.
Really.
Good to hear. So what can DJ Bobby Ricks do for you?
Murphy Pendleton?
Like I was saying, what can DJ Bobby Ricks do for you, Murphy? Got a track you want to play, or?
I'm the guy you've been putting out the dedications for. I got the message. I came to find you.
Afraid you got the wrong man, Murphy. I don't know what you're talking about. But if there's a song you want to hear or a dedication you want to make, I could. You're listening to the DJ Rick Show on WLMN FM, where the tracks are tight and the sweet melodies flow on and on. It's always a perfect day with DJ Ricks, your on-air friend to the end.
Look, man, I came through hell and high water to get here because you called me. Now cut the bullshit, because I don't have time for this.
Chill out, man. If you don't keep your voice down, you're gonna get us both in trouble. And you do not want that. You don't know who might be listening. You understand? Thank God someone finally heard me. I can't even tell you how long it's been just spinning record after record after record, hoping someone.
What the hell's going on here, Ricks? What is this place?
No time to explain. If we're gonna get out of here, we gotta move fast. You getting this far tells me we might even have a chance of getting out alive.
What's the plan?
Right. Listen, I got this boat. She's moored down at the marina. She's fast, real fast. Problem is some motherfucker ransacked the studio and checked the keys.
I'll hotwire it. No problem.
That's not gonna work. This place, it does strange shit to reality, man. It's like there's rules you gotta follow. You know what I mean?
Bobby Ricks? Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
That's
Who's it going out
probably
to?
my favorite thing that Downpour does.
That's nice of you to think of me. Yeah.
Silent
Real
Hill's got
nice.
a rule book you gotta
Thank
follow.
They're coming.
Who?
Doesn't matter. We gotta find those keys. The on the silver chain says freedom. You can't. Miss,
Pendleton.
Put the gun down, damn it. We might have a way out of here.
You. I need to use your phone.
Sorry, lady. Calls come in, but don't go out. Just because folks want to be heard, don't mean they're willing to listen. See for yourself.
What the hell's going on around here? No!
Alright, so there's our cameo of Anne for the next good portion of the game. Actually, yeah, I don't think we see Anne again until the boat, which is over an hour away, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, that's right. We already have a lighter, so we don't need to grab that. And we'll grab this. And then the lighter is going to be all the way back towards the beginning of the inventory. So another part where the bumpers come into play. And we're off on another chase. This chase in particular has a spot towards the end of this segment where it's actually possible for you to get insta-killed by a glitch. There is a way to prevent it though, so that's the good news. But basically there's a thin dividing wall that you make a 180 spin at, and if you stay too close to the wall, the black hole doesn't really know what to do because it's not supposed to damage you through walls, but it's hitting you at a very close range. So it just decides, well, if I can't damage you, then I'm just gonna kill you. And considering the checkpoint on this is the very start of the chase, that loses a good lot of time.
Truth like the sun. Shut it up.
Alright, and now we're on another bit of an auto-scroller segment, where we just get to enjoy the sights as we take a ride in our magic little crate here. Interestingly, there is a rail here that the cage moves on, but as soon as we turn, that rail stops existing. So the rail is actually still existing, so I guess last time I played this it just didn't spawn for some reason. So that's interesting and fun to know. Or, well, there we go. There's where the rail stops existing. So now we're just kind of floating. Then we come in here, notice water just kind of pours in from nowhere. Alright, and we're off on another chase.
Looks like my stop.
This part can get a little questionable. Not this spot exactly, but a little later on there's going to be a spot where I have to take a very particular line in order to avoid getting screamed at by a siren. Here, I'm gonna try to YOLO my way through these guys. Whether they hit me or not is pretty well completely random. That one did. It's okay. I have enough healing items to deal with it, so it's not a big deal. Alright. I'm gonna try to position this right. And nope, I got yelled at. So there's a fun little time loss that just kind of happens. Hopefully at least they don't catch up to me. Which, interesting thing, on the older consoles, the sirens actually despawn when you get to that painting. Not so much in the Series X. Went just a little too far. That I should be able to get on. Good. Second try, that's okay. Now for my least favorite balancing segment. It's so easy to just end up not moving. Yeah, just like that. And since it turns, your weight gets thrown all over the place. It's actually really easy to fail this. But not this time. We're gonna make it through. Let's see if we can hopefully get through this in one cycle too. Nope. Well, the first cycle was impossible, but the second one was very quick, so I'll take that, honestly. Oh, nope. Even when those are slow, they still kill you. Not gonna risk that. Alright, time for another slip and slide a la Tomb Raider. Segments really aren't nearly as bad as they look. The only real danger is if you fling yourself to the side, it'll rebound you back. And that could end up sending you straight into an obstacle and killing you. Oh, by the way, the Centennial Building is the building that has the clock tower, so I just want to throw this out there that we were just in the Centennial Building, fell out to the building across the street from us, and landed on the Centennial Building. I mean, I know this stuff doesn't make sense anyway, and it's the other world, but still, that's a little extra. Anyway, we made it through that. We're back in just the regular old outside town of Silent Hill, taking a bit of a nap.
Funny place to take a nap, son.
But
you know you
we've
could
got
get
mail.
your death out here if you're not careful. Got something for you.
I really appreciate the completely 2D fence behind us and all the 2D plants behind that.
From St. Maria's. The old
really
orphanage up
brings
there
out
on
the
hill.
next gen of the Xbox 360.
This can't be right.
Got your name on it, doesn't it? Seems plenty right to
Yeah, the
me.
trees in the background are
Of course, you
2D
won't
too. That's
know
great.
till you open it, will you?
No. Enough of this shit. No. I'm done. I'm finished with the riddles, the mind games. Whatever I did to get here, I've had enough. I want out. Do you understand me? Do you?
Son, you still don't get it.
So our next stop here is the orphanage,
It doesn't
the
matter
monastery.
what you want.
But we've got
As for me,
a good number of stuff to do beforehand. We're gonna do
I
a
got
couple
mail
side
to
quests, another
goodbye, Murphy.
digging spot. Actually, 2 more digging spots. A few more notes. First stop is gonna be a movie theater. So we're gonna head right on in. Grab a film reel right here. Then there's gonna be another one in the toilet right here. Then we're gonna need a replacement bulb for the projector, which is gonna be in the workroom back here. And then a third and final film reel up in this storeroom. Now we also need to grab this note, because that is a mystery. And then this key code is going to be 9241. Now we do have to wait a little bit, otherwise the door will act like it's not unlocked, even though it is. But we stick all those film reels together, make one master reel, skip a good portion of the side quest. Normally, you're supposed to go through each individual reel to find one number of the code.
That ought to do it.
But we already know the combination, so we can just skip that part and go straight to combining them all so that we have the mega reel. And this is the part I was talking about, where we're going to Murphy Street.
It looks real.
The flashback at the very beginning of the game had this exact scene. So technically you're looking at Murphy and Napier's houses. Alright, gotta come in here and grab a handle. Or crank, I guess is what it wants to call it. I disagree. Well, we gotta put it on this jack-in-the-box here. And the jack-in-the-box gives us a key. And then up in the attic here, the key opens a chest that gives us the golden gun. It doesn't one-shot enemies like in James Bond, but it does pack quite a bit of an extra punch. We'll go ahead and grab that. We're gonna swap it out for the regular gun just to deal with these guys, because we want to save our golden gun bullets, and you are a nuisance. Get off me. Get out of here. Alright. Meanwhile, the Weeping Bat is a bro, just kind of hangs out. Camera, please. This guy will try to slam us. And that's it. That's the side quest. So go ahead and get rid of the old gun, keep the golden gun. Now some interesting weapon management. So here I need two things. I need a hook and I need a shovel. So for the hook, first we're going to come over here and grab a jacket from the store, because we're going to need that for the homeless quest later on. The hook is kind of next to this shop. So on our way to get the ladder, we're going to go ahead and grab the hook. And we're just going to throw it over there. Now we're gonna come in this shop, grab a key from the register, move this box, and then probably get stuck trying to get this painting because it does not like getting picked up for some reason. Yeah, like that. Alright, and now the shovel is right outside this shop, so we'll go ahead and grab that. There'll probably be a siren that spawns, and when that happens, we're gonna throw the shovel at her. There we go. Simple problems require simple solutions. Now then, I'm not done with the shovel yet, so I'm gonna throw it out there where it's nice and easily visible, and then use the hook to climb up here. And this is gonna be another side quest. This is actually my favorite side quest in the game. I think this one is actually really well done. So we're gonna come in here, and we're gonna find components to the gramophone. So here's a crank. And here's a record disc. Now, what's going to happen when we play the disc?
It's useless without the handle.
It shows us a crime scene. So then it tells us to turn back time.
Turn back time.
So now we're going to play the record backwards. And this shows us the murder in reverse. I honestly think this is a really clever idea. I love how it looks. But now we see that the spirit of the murderer is still in the house, so we need to purge him. And we're going to do that by lighting his painting on fire. Alright, that should count. So now we can go back to the shovel, pick it up, and head to the next dig site. Do have to pick up a note on the way. So that note is actually detailing the judge finding Napier guilty for molesting and murdering Charlie. So, in a 100% run, about halfway through the run, we finally figure out what it is that Napier did. But now it's time to head into the monastery, and, of course, since it's not any percent and we don't have our DLC double-headed axe, we do not have an axe that can break through the boards without immediately breaking. So we have to take a small detour once inside here to pick up the axe that's specifically designed and designated to that task. First, though, a few extra minutes of cutscene followed by a
May I help you?
very long loading screen.
I'm Murphy Pendleton. I received this letter today, but I think there's been a mistake.
This is another part too where
Mr.
I can't
Pendleton.
touch the controller
We've
because
been expecting
if
you.
I move anything,
You were the only family we
then
were
the
able to
camera
locate.
can be facing
Your
any
presence is
direction.
very welcome.
Whereas if I don't touch anything, I know the camera is going to be pointing straight ahead between the two doors, and I need to run to the left.
Bless you, child. I understand this must be very confusing for you. We've checked the records carefully, and I assure you, there's no mistake. Please, come in.
What the hell?
Yeah, this monastery is not in
He died
the best
peacefully
condition.
and is finally at rest. For that, at least, we can thank the Lord for his mercy. He didn't leave much behind,
But it's
his few
doable.
personal effects are yours to claim.
What happened here? Was there an earthquake?
I'll meet you in the morgue in the East Wing, when you're ready.
I'm mostly just surprised that this
In the
place has
meantime,
electricity.
please
See
feel
that
free to
fuse
look
box
around.
behind her.
We're pleased that the good Lord has allowed us to carry
Looks
out
like
his
this
work
entire
here at
building
St.
would be
Maria's.
operating on
I'm
candlelight.
sure you'll find your visit enlightening.
Also, shoutouts to another little Easter egg. This monastery is called St. Maria's. Maria being Maria from Silent Hill 2. A little ironic that they would consider her a saint. Alright, small detour through here. Gotta pull this bookshelf off the wall and you go through a little bit of a set piece, I guess you would call it. Alright, grab the axe from the body. And we're surrounded by dolls. A bunch of shadow people are about to come swarming out to greet us. But we're just gonna be big cowards and run away. We got what we came for, that's all we need. So now we just come over here and bust some boards. There's gonna be a siren that tries to come up and sneak attack us, but we're already through, so bye. And now for another really long cutscene where we talk to this kid about letting us through the door, even though we can very clearly reach our arm through and unlock it for ourselves.
Sister said we're not supposed to talk to strangers. Oh. It's just you.
What's your name? Hey, maybe you could unlock this door. Think
So
you could do
this
that
is what
for me?
happens when Downpour tries its hand at metaphors.
It's a pretty
If you
cool
look
car
at the
you got
clothing
there.
here,
You like cars?
Murphy's shirt and pants and the kid's
Yeah,
shirt and pants
my little boy.
pretty well matched. The only difference being that
cars
the
just
kid
like
has overalls.
You kind of remind
It's
me
because
of
the
him.
kid is supposed to
Is
be
he dead?
basically a child version of Murphy.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Charlie mixed in.
Did you kill him?
Meanwhile, the little girl that's crying in the background is supposed to
No,
be a
course
child
not.
version of Anne.
Why would you say something like that?
Because she said you're the boogeyman.
We see a little more evidence for that later on down the line when
What are you talking
we
about?
get
Who said
to like up in the belfry.
She did. She told
We
me
see
all about
little
you.
girl Anne thing talking
she
with the
crying?
wheelchair man, which is
Who is
a
she?
recurring thing that we see in the
I
game.
don't know.
And of
Just
course,
some
we later
girl.
learn that the wheelchair man is
She's
actually
always
Frank,
sad,
Anne's dad.
but she knows things.
What kind of things?
Things about the boogeyman.
And of course, she knows things about
I
the
won't lie
boogeyman
to ya.
because she thinks that Murphy
Grown-ups tell
is the
kids there's no
boogeyman
such
because she
thing as
thinks that Murphy
monsters, that
killed
the
Frank,
boogeyman's just make-believe,
which
and there's
may
nothing
or may
hiding
not
under
be
their
true
beds.
depending on your choices in the
That's a
story.
lie, because I've seen him. And I have a feeling you have too. But I'm not one of them. I'm not the boogeyman. Now what do you say we get out of here? All three of us.
Do you know the rhyme?
What rhyme?
She told me there's a secret rhyme that makes the boogeyman go away. If you say it fast enough, he can't hurt you. Do you know it?
No. But if there's a rhyme that can do that, I sure wish you'd teach it to me.
Then I guess she's right. You are the boogeyman.
Kid, look at me. I'm not a monster.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Alright, finally to the end of that cutscene, we can move on. We're not done with the kid just yet, though. We have to find this poem that he's telling us about. So let's go ahead and work our way through here. We've also got quite a few notes to gather in the monastery, and we do really need to collect them all because this is a missable area. Once you leave the monastery, you cannot go back in, and it's one of the only places that that's true for.
What the hell? Shit!
Don't you dare die on me. Thank you. I was pushing the control stick like way all the way over to the right, and he still was just not having it. Alright, first poem fragment. But it's locked.
That looks like a rhyme book.
Thankfully, I rather enjoy battering rams, so we're gonna make one. Alright. Quick time event time. Except instead of just mashing A, I'm gonna mash A and X because it doesn't actually care if you hit the wrong button. So, since it uses both at different times, just smash both. There we go. Now, when I grab this book, I'm gonna drop the axe. That prevents the poem from popping up and making me stare at it for a little bit. But it doesn't actually save any time because we still have to wait for the door to open. Plus, I have to pick up the axe. Still just fun to show off. It may not save time, but it definitely doesn't lose any. Alright, coming up now on the part that I will never live down. We're live on the GDQ stage. I managed to completely softlock the game. All by opening my inventory at an inopportune time. Thankfully, that's not something that you can really repeat. because there's really no reason for you to open the inventory at the time that I did. Nope, you're back. That's alright, I forgot to grab a note in here, so I need to come back in here anyway. That works. Alright, and here there's a note that I need to remember to grab before I complete the puzzle. Because once the puzzle's complete, the note despawns. So go ahead and grab this stuff. And now we'll start the puzzle. Turn off the light. Play the record. Turn on the stage light. Lever 1. Lever 2. Pull lever 2, that's the important part. Now pick up the note. Alright, make it rain. And bring the thunder. Congratulations, we have now created a pocket reality inside a monastery. Now, if we're lucky, we're going to be able to squeeze by a couple sirens here without getting screamed at. That said, I'm not really feeling lucky at the moment, so let's see. You're right there. Are you going to scream at me? You're going to scream at me. Yep, that's about what I figured. Well, you guys are gone now. Alright, that was pretty quick. So that puzzle has a trick to it, in that if you flip a tile, you can't flip the same tile until it's done turning, but you can move to a tile next to it and turn that one. So the idea is just to constantly be moving from tile to tile and flipping them. Until you get them all done. Because if you just focus on flipping it one at a time, you end up taking about, oh, I'd say maybe 30% longer. It ends up adding roughly a third of the time back to it. So now we gotta come up here, and there's another note that we need to grab from in here. So we're gonna chase the little girl. I hate that laugh so much.
Wait!
It's so bad. It's not scary, it's not creepy, it's just bad.
Reminds me of my own boy.
Alright, and now we come in here. And of course you can't use anything except for an eraser to erase this. That would make too much sense. Alright, let's see. So far, we're looking good on the mysteries. Alright, so when I do speedruns of this game in this segment, You're supposed to chase Charlie. I usually just stand there and watch him run off into the distance. I'll actually chase after him this time.
Come on, Daddy, hurry up!
So here we go.
Charlie?
Running after him. Still, camera pans exactly how it always does.
Charlie!
Charlie goes just as far as he always does. Nothing really changes.
Charlie!
Anyway, that's done. Let's collect some more notes. There's one back here. And we need to go across the hallway. And there's one in this office in a drawer. So far, so good. Now, we're coming up on a moment of big RNG in this run. In any percent, there's a setup to manipulate that RNG, but that doesn't really exist in 100%. I'm gonna try to do my setup for any percent and just see if it works, but you know, it's likely just gonna continue to be a 50-50. But basically, we're gonna come to a room where there's 3 sirens laid out on stretchers, and a key is gonna be in one of them. The first one that you check is always gonna be incorrect, then you're gonna fight an encounter with 1 siren. But then the next one, you have a 50-50 chance of getting the one with the key. And if you get it wrong, then you have another encounter with 3 sirens, and it's long and painful. Wastes about 30 seconds. So we're gonna try the setup. Come to this one. And it didn't work. Go. We reloaded the golden gun. We don't actually need the axe anymore, so
this won't be fun.
Pulling out the gun is just a good way to manage taking care of those sirens more quickly than I otherwise would. If it's gonna give me the extra counter, might as well just spend some extra ammo. I still have plenty to deal with Mr. Boogeyman. Now I grab this note.
It's the rest of the rhyme.
And come in here and grab another
Wonder
note.
if that kid will let me through the door now.
Go ahead and grab that health kit too, just in case. Weeping Bat's gonna drop on my head. And block my path. That's great. Thank you, sir. And we still save time. Very nice. Now, we have the rhyme physically in our book.
Kid,
we saw it. We read it.
I got the rhyme. I say it and you open the door. That's how it works, right?
Do we read the rhyme?
Hey, did you hear
No,
me?
of course not. This is Downpour.
said-
You can't make sense in Downpour. No, we're gonna try to just rattle it off the top of our head, even though we have it right with us, and fail miserably and let child us get murdered.
Steven Skelter.
Poor little Steven
Even the
Skelter.
chaplain, won't forgive you. Forever lies your pleading cries, but Susie knows you felt her shit. Nowhere left for you. Nowhere left for you to run. Every fault laid bare in the open. Leave him alone, damn it! No! Alone with your skin splayed out from within. Once the monster has his fun. Oh, God! Darling! Take heed. It's not too late. His mistakes needn't haunt you forever. He's just a kid, you son of a bitch. Though you have regret, you can't just forget. You alone decide your fate. Charlie, I'm sorry. So sorry. Charlie! Charlie! Oh, God. Charlie! Charlie!
Mr. Pendleton, I have to ask you to leave, sir. We've got everything under control.
Where's my son? Where's Charlie?
Where's Charlie?
Please, Mr.
I'm definitely
Pendleton,
not seeing
you
him
don't
right
wanna
now.
Be here. Let one of my officers drive you back to the command center, and we'll call you.
Where's my boy? Is he out there? Charlie! 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 Charlie!
Why did you hurt him? He never did anything
So-
to you.
Normally I love this part because we're chasing this girl holding an axe, being like,
Wait!
Wait, come back. I'm not gonna hurt you.
That thing is in there!
Well,
It's not safe.
what's really worse? A guy chasing after a little girl with an axe? Or a guy chasing after a girl with a golden gun? It's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. Come here, little girl.
Wait. Stop running. It's not safe.
Stop running. I'll protect you.
Damn it, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Why don't you trust adults with deadly weapons?
What the hell?
Alright, we're gonna do a little glitch here. Rub against this pipe and it should give us our run speed back. Keyword there is should. There we go. That took a lot more effort than it usually does.
Wait. I'm trying to help you.
So, fun fact that slam attack can actually hit you. It's very unfortunate when it does. And now another chase. This time though, we're actually gonna try to get hit a little bit, and we're even going to push over one of the cages because, lo and behold, it makes us get slowed down at a slightly better part. So go ahead and push that. We'll run up here. Get a little bit of slowdown here, but none opening the door. And that's the important part, because opening the door during slowdown is very slow. And then I have to kind of slow down a little bit there because I'm injured, which means that I'm actually running faster during the chase sequence. And because of that, you can actually reach the door before the girl closes it and get stuck there. And since the black hole rubber bands, you end up getting hit with that, and it's just not a good time. Not a good time at all. One, two, three, four, five. Alright, I actually got hit twice, so I'm gonna go ahead and heal here. I typically don't heal in this spot, just because the increased movement speed makes it easier to dodge the shockwaves here, but I hate to get hit by one of those and it kill me and make me have to reload. Anyway, this guy just does a set amount of slam attacks. You're just trying to survive until the end. This siren should drop on the next hit. And now this last one is gonna knock us through. We went ahead and healed as soon as it got hit there. And now we're gonna just run on through. I'm probably gonna have to heal again here in a little bit because we're gonna try to run past a spitter that doesn't like to get run past. And I almost made that one. But the spitters deal so much damage that if you get hit by one, you're gonna get slowed down. And running around at slow speed loses a lot of time. Now we've got a couple of puzzles that are both pretty simple. Especially this first one. So we need to get through there. What's in the way of there? A stage curtain. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna pull the lever that says stage curtain, not the one that says chandelier. Yeah, if you pull the one that says chandelier, then there is a chandelier that drops down and it's got a prisoner enemy on it. So it just makes it where you have to fight another enemy. I don't want to deal with that. It is really funny though, because when you pull the chandelier control, the chandelier with the enemy drops down, you see the enemy standing on it and you're like, oh crap. Then you pull the lever again really quick to make the chandelier go back up, and the enemy is gone. And you're like, ah. I always thought that was kind of a clever idea. One of the few that this game has. Anyway, here's puzzle number 2. We're gonna do 2 rings, 1 ring, 1 ring on the next bell, and then 1 ring on the first bell again. And we've been running around for about 2.5 hours now, so we kind of need a shower. Just soak it all in. Get all that grime off us. There, that's much better. Alright, almost done with the monastery now. There's little girl Anne with Wheelchair Man.
Get away from her.
And now for another 4-minute cutscene. I tell you what, they really know how to drive the action in this game. Give you a big chase scene, a couple puzzles, and then kill everything for a super long cutscene that doesn't really make a lot of sense before throwing you into the boss fight.
Where am I? Why are you doing this to me?
Thank you for coming to shepherd your son home, Mr. Pendleton. I know it's difficult losing a child.
With all due respect, I don't think you do. And like I already told you, there's been a mistake. I buried my son years ago.
I understand, Mr. Pendleton. We all deal with grief in our own way. Shall we? Now, if you'll just sign for your son's body, you can take him home.
No! This isn't my son! This thing's a monster, a murderer!
Yes, well, I suppose that runs in the family.
What the hell are you talking about?
Don't you know, child? Have you wandered so far off the path to not even realize who you are?
What the hell are you talking
Little
about?
old nun throwing some pretty good shade at us there.
Us, Murphy. If only we allow
Being a murderer runs in the family.
Why are you doing this to me?
There were those who dwelt in darkness and in the shadow of death. Prisoners in misery and chains, because they had rebelled against the word of God.
No.
When they cried out to the Lord in their trouble,
I screwed up,
He saved
but I didn't
them.
see any other
He
way.
brought them out of darkness.
You
and
don't
the
know what it
shadow
was
of
like
death,
to
and
know
broke
it was
their
my
bonds
fault he
apart.
was gone. Every
You who
time I
seek God,
shut
let
my
your heart
eyes,
revive.
I saw Charlie's
For the
face,
Lord
and
hears
all I
thee
could
and
think
does not
was,
despise
that
those who
monster
are
is still
possessed.
alive, but I'll never get to see
Amen.
my boy again. Why are you doing this to me? What do you want? What I did to Napier didn't solve anything. Charlie was still gone, and I was stuck in prison. Everything spiraled out of control. It was my fault. I just want...
I'm really glad Downpour is here to bring us those really important lessons that no other game touches, like revenge is bad.
a long, treacherous road, isn't it, Mr. Pendleton? Where do you suppose it ends? It's yours, if you want it. You only need to claim him as your own. You see? I knew you'd come around in the end. Welcome home, Mr. Pendleton. Glory be to God.
Alright, now for an actual boss fight. If you can really call it that. We're just gonna run right on down.
Charlie! Charlie! Hold on, I'm
Let's see how quickly we can beat the boogeyman.
Charlie! Charlie!
There he is. Pick up the gun. Thank you. I was really scared when I dropped the gun and then got knocked back that I wouldn't be able to pick up the gun and it would just grab the hammer instead. So, really glad I got it.
You killed him.
So that was what?
You killed the boogeyman.
3, 4 shots. Peh, what a pushover.
Doesn't matter. It didn't bring you back. Nothing can bring you back.
It's not your fault.
That fight's really not all that much harder on the harder difficulties either. As long as you maintain any sort of distance from him, he can't hit you. And even if you don't even have ammo, I mean, you can throw weapons in this game, and throwing weapons tracks the enemy, so it's very difficult to miss with that. The whole arena is scattered with weapons. Just grab everything you can and throw it at him. You'll kill him before you run out of stuff. Alright, but that's it for the monastery. We're back into Silent Hill now, and we are finishing up the town. So we're going to be wrapping up the rest of our side quests now, collecting a good portion of the notes that are left. But this is going to require us to do a couple of trips backtracking. To start, we're going to push our way forward. And unfortunately, just because of the requirements of having to activate certain side quests, all of the backtracking that we're fixing to do is required. There's really no way around it. Technically, you have the, what do you call, the tunnel system that supposedly lets you fast travel through the town. Those hallways are so long, it really doesn't save time over just walking through the town. The only thing it does is prevent you from having to deal with random enemy spawns. Alright, that portrait doesn't actually activate until you run away for a little bit, so we do that. Got a note up here to grab. And then we gotta come in this house and grab some stuff. First, we grab a picture from this desk. That shows us the dock that we're supposed to be taking the ashes to. Then we come up to grab a note that tells us to dump the ashes. And the ashes themselves. Really interesting that they just never were able to dump these ashes. Because the dock in question... Come on, loading screen. The dock in question is right here. We do have to grab a fishing rod first, though. And I want you to take a look at this. That reel is a film reel, not a fishing reel. That is hilarious to me. And will never cease to be. spread those ashes. What does it do? A safe combination? Well, guess what? That is the side quest completed right there, so we're not actually going to go find the safe and put the code in. That would be a waste of time, especially considering all it gives you is a health pack. I can find those just running around town. And we do have to come over here and get one step closer to finishing this quest. This is the missing poster that we found. It turns out this girl was cognitively impaired, and their parents used a sequence of red and yellow ribbons to guide the girl home. Well, the dad got kind of fed up with it and led the girl right into the water, and she drowned. Happy times. All right, come over here. We're going to do another side quest in here. Just knocking these out one after another. This one's called the Dead Man's Hand. So, come in here. Look at the hand.
Aces and eights. The dead man's hand.
And boy is he.
His heart was ripped out of his chest?
So this is going to be an underground maze. And this maze is very easy to get lost in for one specific reason. The way you're supposed to go when you first interact with the door is locked. And it unlocks immediately after you interact with it. I don't know why they decided that that was a thing. That was annoying. She usually doesn't block the way. Yeah. So there's the door. I get scared. Now it's unlocked. It is so easy to just try it once, it be locked, and just be like, well, I guess that's not the right way. No, it is. Just, the game is poorly designed and makes you think it's not. So now enemies are spawning all over the place, but as long as you keep running, none of them really catch up, so it doesn't matter. So that was the guy's heart that we found down there. We're gonna give it back, because we're nice people. Not sure what good it's gonna do him now, but... The guy's gotta do what he's gotta do. There we go. And what does this quest give you? Well, if you wait for his body to disappear, there is a health pack there. And that's it. That's the big downside to the side quests in this game. None of them really do anything for you. Aside from the movie theater quest giving you the golden gun. In fact, we're fixing to trigger the start of a side quest that once you complete it, you just get a satanic statue that is usable as a melee weapon, but it's not even got increased damage. It's literally worthless, but it's the longest side quest in the game because you have to backtrack through the town 3 times to finish it. That's actually the quest that we're gathering all these little weird, funky looking pieces for. Alright, there's birdie number 3. We've got 2 more of those left. No siren, good. So, gotta come up here. Grab this piece.
Looks like the candles reveal hidden symbols.
Light the candles. That activates the quest. Now we stick this on here, turn it once. And grab the coin. Now we're gonna move our way all the way back to the start of Silent Hill. So we're gonna start by coming into this alley here. Placing another piece. Now this one starts off in one of the positions we need it in. And we turn it twice. And
Another shadow symbol.
the flashlight doesn't like to do things, so you have to actually move away and then go back towards it to make it trigger properly. Got that. Now we collected a key from the girl walking off the dock, so we're fixing to head back to the apartment that key unlocks. There, we'll grab a note from the bed. That counts towards our mysteries, but it also completes that side quest. Move on up here, unlock this door to the right. Bumpers, please. Alright, now this actually trips me up sometimes because you grab the note, that finishes the quest, and as a reward, this door opens with some health kits inside. That's not the door out, though. A lot of times I end up going into that room on accident thinking that I'm leaving the building. Alright, that's done. Heading back through the park now. This will trigger a loading screen. Hopefully on the way back it won't. Sometimes it does if I spend a little too much time over here, but it should keep the prior area loaded. I have considered waiting until this last segment here to take care of a lot of the dig spots. That might actually be beneficial time-wise, but it could also be a pain because right now I have my golden gun as my main way to deal with enemies. Whereas if I'm running around with a shovel, then that can kind of suck if I get ambushed. Like right here, I'm gonna come in here and there's gonna be a weeping bat that's gonna charge at me. Golden gun, that's not a problem. Shovel, kind of a problem. Alright, got a couple of notes to grab here. Got 2 in this office.
These look like different locations.
And another one here. And these are actually supposed to show me the locations of the different paintings through town, but I've already gotten them. So now we come down here. We're gonna place them all on a table and find a map to another secret.
It's a piece of the map.
Alright, that goes there. That goes there, I think.
Another map piece.
That goes there. And there. All right. One last one.
It's a map.
All right, so that gave us a map. That's not really a map. It just shows us a combination to put in at a mausoleum. So, when we head back the way we came, we're going to stop by the monastery one last time to visit the cemetery. For now, though, we're going to run over here. This guy's going to leave us alone, right? This guy won't leave us alone because I know how they work. Alright, actually he is leaving us alone, so that works out. We're gonna place this. Turn it once. Go back because the flashlight does weird things. Turn it twice. And then move back because the flashlight does weird things. That'll give us our coin. Alright, so now we just gotta stop by Homer the homeless man. Good try, buddy. We grabbed a map earlier, so he should be spawned in. If he's not, then, well, I know where another map is, and that will spawn him in that case. There's also going to be another shadow play spot in here. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that before talking to good old Homer.
Another shadow symbol. But what does it mean?
Turn it once. And shadows do weird things. There we go. And there's Homer.
Damn rain never lets up, does it? Man can catch his death out here. Of course, if you could spare something to eat, I could show you another way to get around town, keep your head dry. What do you say, friend? That's a fair trade, ain't it?
I'd say that's a fair trade, Homer.
Wish I could, but...
No. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You just did the wrong thing. I mashed too quickly.
Well, if you find it,
Homer, let me give it
sure
to you.
Come back here and
Please.
old crazy Homer will show you a few secrets about this place. Safe travels, friend. Keep dry.
There we go.
Sorry, it's not much, but you're welcome to it.
You got a map of the town?
Sure
Let
do.
me show you something.
Alright,
See that?
hand-drawn map of the
There's
tunnels.
all over Silent Hill, connected one
Those are
by
supposed to
town
be a fast travel system. But it's just not worth it. In most cases.
Had to stay out of the rain. You think like a rat kid and you'll be fine. Just like old Homer. I tell you what, it gets awful cold most nights. If you found me a coat to keep warm, I could show you some more shortcuts to keep you dry. You just come back here and find me.
Here you go. See if this fits.
Say, that's nice. Real nice. Maybe you're a good one after all. Show me that map again. This ought to help you on your travels.
Alright, there's part
Tell you
2.
what, instead of my living like some scavenger out here, I could use a way to fend for myself. That lake out there's full of fish. If I had a rod and reel, I could feed myself.
Well, I'm not sure how well this is going to help you out considering the reel is a film reel, but I got one for you.
Another shortcut.
Will this do?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do just fine. Go and show me that map one more time. There you go. That's all I have to show you. Good luck, friend. Hope you find your way home.
Alright, that's all done. Let's get out of here. Of course I don't have any ammo. Well, we're just gonna deal. And hopefully this should not be a load screen. Perfect. Area is still loaded. So now we just gotta work our way back to the monastery. I like how the shovel is still where I left it before going into the monastery, instead of where I dropped it on my way to it. Alright, here we are. So placing the maps opened this tomb up. And now we push some panels that open that door up and let us go inside to deal with some enemies in exchange for supplies. But we don't need supplies, so we're out of here. I got stuck in between the doors. That happens a lot. Well, since this doesn't have any bullets, I'm just going to put that away for now. Let's see, so at this point it's really just shadow play that I need to finish. Shadow play, the bird cages, and the mirror room. So let's go take care of shadow play. This is a trek that you would expect the fast travel tunnels to benefit you with, but the way the fast travel tunnels work is the one where Homer is at is actually kind of a central hub, and the rest of them go to that central hub first, then branch out to the other paths. Which means that for me to go from this tunnel to the one closest to where I need to be would actually require me to backtrack to the central hub first. And that is why it's not worth it. It ends up taking just as long to travel back to the hub and then to the area you're going as it does to just run to the area you're going. It's really kind of silly. Also gonna grab the shotgun. We are nearly done with the town portion, though.
Poor little guy.
It is raining, which could pose a threat. When it rains, enemies deal more damage and are more aggressive and spawn more frequently. Seeing as I have a shotgun, it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but that is a potential threat. And I'm actually surprised nobody spawned when I released that bird, because they usually do. Anyway, let's come up here. Oh, don't go back down, Murphy. This is why I hate ladders in this game. It's so easy to do exactly the opposite of what you want to do with them. But I believe this is the last shadow play before I go back and place all the coins.
Another shadow symbol. But what does it mean?
I'm gonna turn that once and move back because flashlights are terrible. Gonna turn this once. Move back because flashlights are terrible. Turn it twice. And then move back because flashlights are terrible. There we go. Now we have all the shadow play coins. We can go back to the house with the candles. And no, you could not do this last shadow play thing before when we were down here doing those side quests, because the shadow that you cast the flashlight shadow on to finish it doesn't spawn until you light those 2 candles. But you also don't want to go ahead and backtrack and hit the shadow play house first, because you need to get the fishing rod in order to complete the Homer quest. So it's really just a lose-lose situation. You can do one or the other, but either way you're going to have to backtrack all the way back here. That's a lot of weeping bats. Alright, so we gotta place these coins on their matching symbol. we go. The statue appeared, the game saved. That is another side quest down. And now all we have left for the town portion is one last dig spot, the mirror house, and the birdcage, which are all over by the boat that will get us out of here. So now we just backtrack all the way back again. Another point where using the fast travel system would be nice if it worked as it is supposed to, but it doesn't, so we're not going to. Let's see, we're coming up on the end here, so go ahead and drop the golden gun, because I don't have any ammo, and when we move to the prison, we won't have the golden gun anymore. So there's really no point in holding on to it. Gonna grab ourselves a shovel. Only about 40 minutes left in the run. Alright. Here's the mirror house. So we're gonna come in here. We're gonna see what's off in here.
Wait.
Which is gonna be the lamp first.
Did something change?
And it's gonna be the desk drawer. And the TV. Then the picture frame. And last but not least, the candle. That drops us a note here. And that's it. We're out of here. Go dig up our final grave. All right. Oh, hey, enemies. I don't mind the prisoner following me. That guy's fine. If he wants to give me a speed boost, he can. But the siren, I don't need anybody screaming at me right now. Anyway, last birdie.
Poor little guy.
Not sure what the bluebirds have to do with Charlie. But there you go.
Charlie.
Now we just gotta get to the boat. And now, of course, as is her tradition, Miss Anne Cunningham will be appearing out of nowhere. You thought we would just drive off into the sunset, didn't you?
gotta be kidding me.
Did you really think it could end like this?
After everything you saw back there, everything we've been through, you think going back to prison is all that's at stake here?
We're not going to Wayside.
What are you saying?
Turn the boat around.
Are you out of your mind? We're free. When we reach the
So
opposite
all that's left
shore,
now
I'll
are
go one
11
way,
notes that
you
are
can
in the
go
prison.
other. It's that easy.
We've got unfinished
No more side
business,
quests.
you and I.
No more
I have
digging.
no idea what the
No
hell
more
you're talking
Silent
about.
Hill.
Honestly,
Just prison
I
and
don't
notes.
care anymore. There is no way in hell I'm going back.
So from here, it's pretty
It
straightforward.
wasn't a request.
We've both just been through hell. Haven't you been paying attention?
No, you haven't been paying attention. You think this is all an accident? Just a big coincidence? This town, it knows me. It showed me things. It wants me to finish this. Don't you understand? It'll never let us go until we finish what we started. What you started.
I told you. I'm not going back. You might as well shoot me.
Fine.
How's it going, Murph? Heard you're gonna be leaving us soon.
What do you want, Sewell?
You weren't thinking of leaving before you paid back my favor, were you?
Napier.
What am I talking about? Of course you're gonna keep your end of the deal. You're a real stand-up guy, Murphy. Parole report says so right there in black and white. A model prisoner, right? Sure would be awful if they found out about what you did to that child buggering bastard, though, wouldn't it? I mean, shit. That would ruin everything, wouldn't it?
What do you want me to do?
What you're good at, of course. Ridding the world of monsters. I got another one for you.
Who is it?
Don't worry yourself about
Spoiler
the
alert,
details,
it's not a
Cupcake.
monster.
Just take out the garbage like you did before and we'll be square.
So what happens here?
When?
There's gonna be a little disturbance tonight.
Sewell knows that
The other
Frank
guards and me are
reported
gonna have
him
our hands
and
full, so no
put
one's
him
gonna
under
notice when you head down
investigation
to
for
the showers
corruption and
find your
bribery.
guy waiting there.
So,
just like last time.
he's going to try to get us to off
I
Frank
think you
for
know
him
what comes next.
in
Unless,
order
of
to
course,
cover his
you're thinking of breaking my
behind.
deal.
And this other guy, he deserves it?
Oh, Murph, you have no idea how bad he deserves it.
If I remember
only wish I
right,
could do it
Frank is
myself.
supposed to head the investigative
So,
team as well, so
do
getting
you
rid of
say,
Frank pretty
Cupcake?
much gets rid of
gonna play ball?
the investigation in general.
I'll take care of it.
Born free.
Alright, here we are back in prison, though this time it's Overlook Penitentiary. Another returning location from the old Silent Hills, though not anything like the Overlook Penitentiary in the other games.
Answers are before us, Murphy. When we allow ourselves to see them.
So, fun fact, this door that opens here, when the game loads in, there's actually an invisible wall that prevents you from moving on the older consoles because the game is still loading the area. Series X, you just run right through. Now, we do have to stop right here because we have to wait for this paper to fall on the ground. That is one of our mysteries. So 1 down, 10 to go.
I might be able to cross over on this.
this is our last balancing section of the game. Thank goodness.
Come on, Murphy, hold it together, man.
Alright, now we got another note to grab by the safe here. That's the note from Sewell that tells us when to meet him for good old Napier. Or actually, that might be the note for Frank, I don't know. One of the two, though. So we go to that guy to get the access card, but we end up getting the flashlight in the meantime, even though I really don't want the flashlight. Unfortunately, the two come as a pair. Tried to swing through that like you can on a couple of the other ones. Didn't work out for me. There's another note right here that we need to grab. Make our way back across. And then I'll get to show where I swing the axe successfully through a stagger animation and just keep moving. Yes. Oh, nope. I must have swung too early. Weird how I'm not getting that lately. I've been getting it pretty consistently before. Alright, take care of you. Move this because there is a note behind it. Alright, now this stagger I'm just not even gonna mess with because you end up tripping the stagger on your way back anyway. There's no point. Another water section. This one there is no trick to get your run speed back, so we just kind of got to deal with it. Alright, Murphy, stop getting stuck, please. So here there's a chance for a smaller prisoner to spawn in along with the big guy. That's not there. Good. Do a quick juke there. Sorry, mate, gotta try harder than that to get me. Now, on road record attempts, I kind of just yellow this cable and don't bother turning it off, but for the sake of safety, we're gonna turn it off. That wastes like 6 seconds, but 6 seconds is a lot less than the 30 seconds it would take to reload a save if I die. Get rid of the axe. Grab a couple health kits. Go ahead and heal because I am hurt. And there's a note in this drawer. And I grabbed the pistol bullets. That's unfortunate. I actually do need this. So in other runs, I just kind of leave the shotgun because I don't really need it. There's another shotgun that spawns later if you don't grab this one, but doesn't spawn if you do grab it. But for this one, there's a spot that I need to deal with a few enemies I normally wouldn't need to in order to get one of the notes. So we're gonna keep it. There's also a note right here that I need to grab.
The guards can pass their sidearms through that window.
Now let's see if I can grab the shotgun without grabbing the pistol bullets. Nope, pistol bullets was the first thing that I grabbed. That's annoying. Alright, so I gotta deal with these three because there's a note in one of these cells that I need to grab. So we'll see how this goes. Gonna finish you off first because you're the scary one. There we go. Enemies dealt with. Shotgun doesn't have any more ammo, so we'll get rid of that. Now grab a note here.
You never stopped trying to help me, did you, Frank?
And another note here. Now for the code. Very nice code, very complicated code, very secure. 2345. Now for a quick time event that doesn't kill you if you mash too quickly. In fact, it strongly encourages you to go quickly. I've tried to be clever before and type out a bunch of emotes while this was happening. It did not end well. And that's not really a checkpoint that you want to reload either. So now we got a little bit of a flashback scene. We can't really interact with anything here. We just have to wait for a timer to count down. Yeah, you pump that shotgun and then not use it. You're doing great, bud. I like how you act like you're going to the stairs and then once you reach the stairs you just despawn. Great stuff. Anyway, this spot, we need to swipe our keycard in both of these. And once we do, so about 14, so about 44 is when the door will be completely open. Until then, we have to bait these guys out. Just lure them around. Try not to get killed. I'm not doing well. There we go. Perfect timing. Getting a little bit of a speed boost. Let's see how long that goes on. Is it gonna last the whole way? It's gonna last the whole way. Very nice. All right, last 2 notes right here. There's 1. There's 2. That should be everything. Now it's just finishing the game. Try to avoid Juggernaut right here. He likes to come after me. Looks like he succeeded. Great job, bud. I wish you weren't so good at your job. Let's see, looks like we're actually going to be saving a bit of time here as well, so that's nice.
How's it going, Murph? I heard you're gonna be leaving us soon. You weren't thinking of leaving before you paid back my favor, were you?
Alright, another chase sequence. Not the last one, though. We've still got quite a bit of game left. This chase sequence is a little extra fun though because it's also a guillotine maze. And what can be really fun about this is if you get hit by a guillotine, it'll push you right into the black hole and either slow you down for a really long time or just outright kill you. It's a lot of fun. It's possible to avoid the last guillotine here, but very rare. Yeah, that would have gotten me. It would have pushed me forward, but it would have gotten me. Oh yeah, we're making that. We're making that. Whew. It is very rare that you make that cycle. That's very nice. No, this one we're not. Now for the part that can really lose us time. This elevator. So this is supposed to be kind of a gauntlet of a few enemy waves, and you're supposed to kill them all in order to keep moving. However, the game doesn't quite understand what it means to kill an enemy. If you just get a direct hit on them and then move towards the center of the platform, the game just assumes that they're dead and continues on. So this first one's going to spawn in the middle here. We're going to try to just get a quick shot in and move away. And there we go. Perfect. Second one's going to start out the same. But then we're also going to get an additional wave to the left. Open up. Okay, it didn't count the hit on that guy, apparently. That's unfortunate. That lost us a little time, but still doing okay. We just need the third wave to go well. This one starts on the right, then moves to the left, and then the center. Let's see. Still have plenty of ammo, so not too worried on that front. We should be fine. Just count my hits, please. There we go. So that actually went really well. It usually goes a lot worse than that. I've still got plenty of health kits, so I won't pick that up. I think I actually have 2 left. And I should only need 1. And dropping the shotgun, you know, you would think that keeping the shotgun with me would be a good idea, but look, it's another bridge that's gonna drop out below us and make us lose everything we're carrying. So yeah, the shotgun doesn't help us past that point. We would just be losing it here anyway. And unlike axes, you can't throw guns. Would be cool if you could, though. There's a section up ahead that I could really use a shotgun for. Alright, welcome to the land of cutscenes you can move in. Every time we push a button, it's going to do a little cutscene, and we're going to try to continue moving so that we can complete the puzzles as quickly as possible.
Yes.
So far so good. This last one where we push this button, we're gonna potentially be able to weave our way in between these cages on our way back to this wheel. If our movement is good. But that is typically a pretty big if. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, we did it. Alright. Pretty smooth. So now to the chamber of spinning blades. This is a lot more dangerous than you would expect. So when these blades start slowing down, it doesn't matter how slow they're going, as long as they're moving, they hit you with full force and kill you. So don't get hit. This one I wait a little extra long because of stuff like that. So, just the way that cycle lined up, the blade was a little farther along, so it went one extra half turn. If I had gone through that as quickly as I did the other two, I would have went straight into that blade, been knocked down, and died. Anyway, now for my least favorite part of the entire run. I hate this segment so much. These enemies do not play nice. You can do everything right, and they'll still overhead slam you into the ground. That guy actually went through the gate, which is very nice. They don't always do that. He went for the overhead slam, but missed, which doesn't often happen, but I'm glad it did this time. Now I'm gonna grab a crowbar here before climbing up the ladder. And I need to open up the gate for the next area. Then there's a crank that I need to turn. But those prisoners are gonna try to beat me around while I turn it, so I have to knock them all down and incapacitate them. The issue with that is sometimes you'll knock them down and they'll get back up. So we'll see what happens here. So far this is going well. Alright. That should be good. One got up, the other one went down in 3 hits, so I knew he was going to get back up, so I went ahead and just did the finishing blow. And we're through. So now we got one last black hole chase, a final boss, and then one last encounter with Anne. I am a little injured, which is nice because that means hopefully the black hole here will injure me the rest of the way that I need to get my damage to speed boost. Because if I get damaged enough, then when I go up these next flight of stairs, the black hole will be too slow to slow me down. That said, it does not look like I'm going fast enough. Yeah. That's okay. Not too big of a deal. I'm moving fast now, which is still nice. Gonna let that guy hit me. Because it doesn't really matter. It's gonna make me move faster in this part anyway. Maybe could have made that, but I wasn't willing to try it. Alright, the guillotine's glitched. That's good. And we're through. Not bad at all. Alright, now we just need a good prank fight. Let's see if we can make the first cycle here. Nope. No way. That's a shame. Alright, and then all the cutscenes after you pull these plugs, you are able to move during, so we're gonna try to move our way to the next lift. Murphy did move. Why didn't you move, Murphy? You usually move. So that's another cycle missed. Physically cannot make it back to the lift in time on this one. But that's okay, because you need to grab shotgun shells anyway, otherwise you will run out. Alright, let's see how the movement on this one goes. Got stuck a little bit, that's okay. That went decently. Yeah. Don't hit me. Let me go. Jesus Christ. Are you gonna come out? No. Good. I don't want you to come out anyway. Now you don't hit me either. Come on. There. Good. So far this fight is not going great. Gonna make this cycle though, which helps a little bit. Make it back down. Now please have good movement during this cutscene. I had okay movement, but I still missed the cycle. That's whatever. Oh no, I didn't get him all the way. That's such a stupid waste of time. This actually could have potentially been a world record. Oh well. Anyway, that's the Frank fight. The whole fight is literally just pulling the life support plug on this poor guy. And now we get to listen to Anne talk for about 4 minutes of how what we did was such a terrible thing. And you know what? Can't blame her.
How could you?
What?
He was a good man. A good man.
What the hell are you talking about? That thing tried to kill me. It's not a man, it's a monster. No, that's not how it was supposed to go. That's not what I agreed to.
Murphy? Is that you?
Officer Coleridge?
Jeez, I'm glad it's just you. This thing is kicking off something fierce. I knew you'd be smart enough to steer clear of it.
What are you doing here?
Sewell told me to meet him here. You haven't seen him, have you? He ain't answering his radio. Are you okay, Murph? You don't look so good. What's that you got there? What the hell's going on, Murphy?
No. This isn't what I agreed to.
What are you talking about? Agreed to what?
Tell him, Murph.
What's going on here, Sewell? Why didn't you answer the radio?
Should've learned to keep your big fucking mouth shut, Frank. Now my friend Murphy's gotta shut it for you.
Murphy, don't do this.
Come on, Murphy, you gonna keep your end of the bargain or not? Do it, you
Murphy,
son of a bitch!
No.
No.
You know, he was a great man, my dad. Didn't matter who you were. Family,
So,
friends, even
they saved the
prisoners.
most fun part
He
for
treated everyone
last,
with
of
respect.
course. So now we get to turn into the boogeyman ourselves,
Always
and
looking for the positive side of people. I wanted to be just like him.
take Anne
You don't
out.
understand. Your father treated me like one of his own.
Hopefully,
I'd never...
she stays fairly still for us, because
After you were done beating the
once she
life out
starts
of him,
moving side to side, it gets
He spent
really
years in
difficult to
that
actually
wheelchair.
hit her with your heavy attack.
a fucking vegetable. Did you know that? And I had to watch this wonderful man shit and piss all over himself day after day after day. And every time I looked at him, you know what I saw?
Listen to me.
I saw a monster. I saw you.
Just calm down a minute and let me tell you what really happened.
You don't know how many strings I had to pull to get your transfer approved, to get you to my prison. The favors I had to call in, the sick things I had to do to get you under my watch.
You don't have to do this.
My father was a good man. He didn't believe in revenge. But I do.
Alright, here we go. Time to mash Y. Come on, Ann, stay still. Don't move. You move. Are you gonna move to the side? No. Perfect. Staying completely still. That is a perfect Ann fight. So time is coming up now in about 20-ish seconds. Boogeyman is gonna walk up to Ann and raise his hammer. And then when the decision prompt pops up, that'll be time. And time. So you see here, this is the surprise ending. Let's double check our stats. 13 side quests, good. 54 mysteries, good. That is 100% completion. So, I'll sit back, let you enjoy the surprise ending. This is the joke ending of the game and one of my personal favorites.
Such a shame. Here be monsters again. Here be monsters again. Surprise!
Oh, you guys.
Now that's how you cut a cake. Alright, so that's the end of Silent Hill Downpour 100%. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a category that not a lot of people run, but it's a lot of fun. Really wish I could get a lot more people on board with this. But that'll be it for now. I'll see y'all later, hopefully with something else.